the Irish guy, and Jose was right. Okay, first off, aren't documentaries meant to make you like the person after? I mean, good guys, 2 years ago, there were even fat middle-aged bricklayers in Grimsby. Men who'd never watched a professional basketball game in their life. Oh, suddenly they were now professing their love for Michael Jordan. I mean, ironically, the year before that, there was a very different MJ doc. I mean, all that really did was just force people to delete Billie Jean's off their iTunes library. But this commercialized, overbloated Pogba documentary, I mean, when I sat down, I was expecting to be wooed. I mean, I'm someone who's long thought that this fella was a petulant, sulking brat with the work rate of a garden gnome. But come on, this is a window into his life. Surely I would have finished this 5-parter understanding him a little bit more, right? No, this wasn't a football documentary. No, the Maradona doc, the Sir Bobby Robson doc. These were gripping football stories. But this was a vain, vapid reality TV show. It was just like keeping up with the Pogbas. I mean, I should have known. Christ, Bob, it's called Pogmentary. And half the thing is a goddamn cartoon. I should have known that this would have had the journalistic integrity of a Sunrisers ball bag. I mean, it's not even clever. Pogmentary. I mean, is this supposed to be some sort of pun? Because wouldn't it have read better if it was Pogumentary? I mean, yeah, what happened to the U? I mean, kind of fitting, really. Not too surprised that a personality like Pogba has chosen to neglect the U, because in reality, he's far too focused on the me. By that, as trying to hit 150,000 subscribers as soon as possible. If you're new here, slap the big fat red button, you absolute legends. Anyway, back into the video. I mean, the ego on this man. I mean, he seems to think he's some world-class sporting superstar, some sort of icon. He's probably confused when nobody's approached him yet to star in Space Jam 3. I mean, the complete lack of self-awareness. We talk about namesakes, right? Well, Paul Scholes was twice the footballer who won 23 more trophies for Manchester United than Pogba has. And when he left Old Trafford, he was just scuttling out the back door without making a fuss. I mean, honestly, Paul Scholes was about as attention-seeking as some nerd on the bus. I mean, he was just a ginger Bilbo Baggins. I mean, he would genuinely have gone bright red in the face if you wished him happy birthday in the street. I mean, he's got 5 times the legacy of Pogba. And yet, still, can you imagine him releasing a padded, egocentric doc like this? I'm pretty sure he'd sooner have chosen to share a bath with his mum than even dare to do something like this. I mean, Pogba dabs over the Europa League to stick it on the grass. Scholes meekly lifts the Champions League in what looks like a school uniform. Okay, first of all, I just want to say that you, me, everyone watching this documentary, we all need to admit something. I mean, honestly, there's no judgment here. This could be our own private AA meeting, just without the smell of unemployed winos crying in the corner. I'll go first. I am the Irish guy, and I once thought that Paul Pogba was world class. I mean, it's okay. You did too. I know you did. Everyone did, because this man, he hypnotized the world. What with his flash haircuts, his incredible physique, but more importantly, those utterly ridiculous rocket wonder goals he used to score for Juventus. I mean, Christ, well, if TikTok had been around in 2013, you'd have had kids thinking he was better than Messi. I mean, for years, this was the one that got away, right? Between 2012 and 2016, this guy was the Manchester United. Well, Kevin De Bruyne is the Chelsea. I mean, honestly, when Man United fans watched him compete against Barcelona in the Champions League final, the same month they were failing to score against West Brom and Hull, they honestly must have felt a strong taste of piss in their mouth. I mean, this is a bit like if a girl had dumped Harry Styles before he was famous back in 2009. I'm pretty sure now, when they're instead married to some beer belly binman, she'd honestly feel like jumping in the bath with the radio. Pogba tricked us. He tricked us all. I mean, this is the man who won the Golden Boy Award in 2013. I mean, everyone seemed to drink that up, as if that was proof that this teenage kid was the real deal. Well, no, it was just, he won that during a weird era for that award. I mean, from 2008 through to 2016. Here were the men who were crowned Golden Boy. Anderson, Alexander Pato, Mario Balotelli, Mario Götze, Isco, Paul Pogba, Raheem Sterling, Anthony Martial, and Renato Sanchez. Yeah, that was weird. 2 different Marios won it 2 seasons in a row. How many of those 9 players actually went on to live up to their potential and stamp their world-class ability on the sport? I mean, the best of that bunch is Raheem Sterling. The rest of them, about as anticlimactic as the new Jurassic Park. I mean, we talk about the Premier League as being the biggest and best league in the world, right? Well, weirdly, if you just exclude Sterling, then the last 14 winners of the Golden Boy Awards have scored a combined 112 goals in the Premier League. That's it. 14 best young players in the world, and they've scored as many goals in this league as Emil Heskey. Bit weird, but go on then. It's your turn. Feel free to admit that you were seduced and duped by your parish, by the cult of Pogba too. I mean, we're all like recovering alcoholics, slowly realizing that actually we were brainwashed. I mean, honestly, admitting now that I thought Pogba was world class, yeah, it's a bit embarrassing. A bit like admitting that you watch Glee or get aroused by naked cats. But it wasn't just me, and it wasn't just you. This isn't just a collection of people on the internet who were infected by Pogba syndrome. No, even Jose Mourinho. Yeah, a man who right now would sooner lick bird poo off a bagel than even share a taxi with this man. He wanted to sign him for Chelsea. I mean, that was before he realised that PP had the attitude of an entitled teenage brat. Again, considering the autumn of 2015 was single-handedly the most stressful and worst period of Mourinho's career, but I'm sorry, if he had bought somebody lazier than Homer Simpson on the toilet, then his dressing room would have been even more of a disaster. I mean, bringing both a lazy Pogba and a down-in-the-dumps Radamel Falcao in the same transfer window, oof. I mean, what was he gonna do? Play in a midfield 2 at Nemanja Matic? Yeah, we saw him try to do that at Old Trafford. Watching that was about as inspiring as finding Weetabix in your shoe. I mean, in the space of 2 years, going from the tireless work rate of Frank Lampard to now some midfield fraud with the ego of Rihanna. I mean, Chelsea fans would have given up on Pogba after 6 months, not 6 years like Man United. Manchester United were tricked into buying into the cult of Pogba, to the point where I feel like they were almost scammed. I mean, they're essentially the Premier League's answer to Ellis Platt. I'm sorry, but this is not a £90 million footballer. Everybody was duped. From this doc, you can see that Pogba is a man who likes to be flash and different with everything. So honestly, he must wake up every day and resent the fact that his mother named him Paul. I mean, nothing wrong with the name. It's just about as exciting as broccoli porridge. I mean, clearly this fella wants to be the French Jay-Z. He'd sooner be called something powerful like Ford or X. Instead, he shares the same name as Paul Dummett, or that old man who gets paid to eat cake. And how tone deaf can you be? Who brings out a documentary celebrating yourself and patting yourself on the back when you've just been part of Manchester United's worst ever Premier League season? 6th in the league, and he thinks it's appropriate to bring this out? No, this is like getting your knob out at your granny's wake. No, again, not the time nor the place. You just know this guy is now choosing design for Juventus just so he can get Pog back to trend on Twitter once again. I mean, why else would he choose to sign for a team 4th in the Italian league? He's doing it for the hashtag, which just sums him up. When Mourinho was sacked in 2018, this is what immediately went up on Pogba's Instagram. A photo of him smirking with caption this, literally gloating at another man losing his job. I mean, Paul, it's been 5 years since he won a trophy for Manchester United. 5, that's half a decade. You have nothing to smirk about. I mean, you know what the tragic thing is? We shouldn't have needed Jose Mourinho to tell us that Pogba was essentially football's answer to Chris Brown. You know, a troublesome rich problem child with the likability of a made-in-Chelsea brat. Sir Alex Ferguson already made the decision in 2012 when he tossed Pogba away then after he disrespected the club. And that should have been it. The end of the story. So why then as a football club did you choose to grovel and beg him to return 4 years down the line? Whoever's idea it was to make this man the most expensive footballer on planet Earth. Oh, I'm sorry, that should always be punishable by law. I mean, can you imagine what that tag would have done to his already overinflated ego? I'm guessing he spent that summer of 2016 walking around like a cocky wolf. You know, the one who tried to blow down the Three Pigs house. Honestly, this is a fellow who probably thinks that he could bottle his own poo and sell it as perfume. The complete lack of self-awareness. So go on then. Whoever it was at the Manchester United boardroom who decided to sanction a £90 million deal, they should arguably be now forced to eat a sandwich filled with broken glass as punishment. Ferguson got rid of Pogba. That should be the end of the saga. I mean, at least when Pogba disrespected Manchester United in 2012, it wasn't exactly in public, but 10 years down the line, he's once again leaving for Juventus on a free. But this time, he gets to go out with a shiny flash Amazon dock. I mean, Cookers, Ferguson booted his captain of 10 years out of the club in 2005 because he apparently disrespected his teammates on MUTV. I mean, this is a fellow who sold David Beckham because he was getting distracted by his Spice Girl wife. I mean, what do you think he would have done? If Pogba had done this on his watch, I would think he would probably have instructed hired goons from Glasgow to turn up at Pogba's mansion and smash out his teeth with a crowbar. I mean, here's what Pogba said in this documentary about Manchester United's contract offer.
How can you tell a player you absolutely want and offer him nothing?
Yeah, that nothing he was talking about was a wage offer of £300,000 a week. Nothing, apparently. With that contract, you would be earning 3 times more in 1 week what a senior heart surgeon makes in a year. Let me ask you, who is is more important to society? Someone literally paid to save lives with a scalpel, or an injury-prone celebrity who scored 1 goal last season and gets 5 haircuts a week? Someone who loves himself so much that honestly I wouldn't be surprised if he kisses the mirror 9 times before bed. Thinking that a contract offer of £300,000 a week is nothing. How tone deaf can you be? Who does he think he is? Because this documentary would have you believe he's football's answer to Michael Jordan. I mean, don't get me wrong, with the power of selective editing, you can make anyone look world class. I mean, sure, there's clips of him scoring 30-yard wonder goals for Man United. I mean, if you hadn't followed his career, you'd assume this man is a future Ballon d'Or contender based on that alone. You know, Old Trafford's answer to Stevie G. Yeah, funny. They sort of left out the clips of him stumbling about like that warthog off Lion King, someone failing to track his runners, and just generally having the midfield presence of a pistol wheelie bin. When he arrived in 2016, this was a man supposed to be the club's answer to Superman, the best midfielder in the world, right? Yeah, in a Manchester United shirt, he's been on the losing side 54 times. He has lost nearly 60 games of football for this club. He's travelled to Watford 3 times, lost every single one. Lads, it's Tottenham. That was the half-hearted team talk Fergie used to give before easy wins over Spurs. Yeah. Pogba started 2 successive matches against Tottenham at Old Trafford, and he watched his goalie pick the ball out of his net 9 times. 9 goals in 2 matches against Spurs. What? This is a man who has lost 2 cup finals. He's been in midfield and this club have lost the likes of Hull City, Newcastle, West Brom, Brighton, Bristol City, Cardiff. I'm sorry, but no world record transfer Manchester United midfield signing should ever be in a team who loses at home to Sheffield United. That just should not happen. You know what? Both David Moyes and Louis van Gaal both turned down the chance to re-sign Pogba when they were in charge, because Pogba was open to a £65 million return to Old Trafford after just 1 season in Serie A. And so because he was showing the commitment of a Geordie Shore airhead, Moyes backed out of the idea and tried to buy Cesc Fabregas instead. I mean, Van Gaal just straight up refused to sign him. So really, since Pogba left in 2012, only one Manchester United manager has actually wanted Pogba at the club. And I think we all know by now that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was less an actual coach and more a highly paid adult babysitter. Mourinho was right. Documentaries are supposed to end on a positive note, right? Maybe a glimpse into Pogba's ambitions for the future. No, the final 5 minutes, he just went out in a cloud of toxic petulance, choosing to call out Mourinho because he wasn't happy about Pogba holidaying with his wife in Miami halfway through the season. Yeah, damn right he wasn't happy. When you factor in the wages, this man has been a £180 million headache, and he thinks it's appropriate to bring out such an egotistical doc. When do these things ever make a player look good? Christ, look at your best mate Antoine Griezmann. Or Grisou. Do you not remember when he brought out his The Decision documentary just before the 2018 World Cup? And everyone quickly made up their mind and came to the conclusion that he was a Liga's answer to Joffrey Baratheon. This documentary achieved nothing. Who does it help? If this was really a final goodbye to the Manchester United fans, then it shouldn't be called Pogmentary. Now, instead a better title for this would have been Sorry. That's it. 1 word, sorry. Maybe even invite Justin Bieber along to the premiere to sing his naff song for the closing credits. Honestly, 1 word, sorry. But he's not. Anyway, that's what do you think? Let me know what do you think about the Paul Pogba situation? Let me know in the comments below. Where should he go next? Let me know. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe as always. I'll talk shit a while.